Hey, my name is Samantha and I'm a first year student at the University of Georgia. So the first time I was exposed to Camp Highland was when I went on a retreat in 6th grade with my school, Primitive Christian School. Go Eagles. So on this trip, we spent 2 nights at camp, and I was used to doing Girl Scout campers. I was used to doing church retreats. I was really accustomed to just going to a place and leaving and not coming back and just being content with those few hours I had at that place. But Camp Highland was a different scenario. So instead of just doing different things around camp and then having the staff be really enthusiastic the first day you were there, and then by the time you left, having them be thankful you were leaving, it was awesome because Camp Highland, even before I met the summer staff, even before I had the summer experience, it was just a place where I felt God's presence in a tangible way. And it's hard to explain, but just everyone who worked at camp, even not like full summer staff, even the few people I met at that point, we're just overflowing with just the Holy Spirit and just a passion to pour into other students and really invest and just spend every single moment of adventure just being really purposeful in every single step and every single rope and every single grip. Like, everything was intentional. And so I decided that I was going to try to go to summer camp at Camp Highland. So my brother and I, he's 4 grades younger than me, so I think he was in like 3rd grade at this time. We went to camp for week 7 one summer, and we went to week 7 for the next 4 years too. So we spent 5 years at camp. And I was really enthusiastic. I'd been to Girl Scout camp before. I was ready to go whitewater rafting and go climbing and everything. And I got to camp, and it was totally different than what I was expecting. It was so far beyond my expectations. The camp wasn't set up like a normal one where the counselors would just like hang out with you for a week and then you'd never talk to them again or see them again. This camp was set up with staff that was really intentionally picked. And my counselors, I actually saw my counselor Anna Hill the other day from 2 summers ago, and she still remembered me by name and said hey to me, which was really cool. But these counselors were not just invested in the next batch of students and just kept moving on. They were investing in the students they had at that time, but also investing in the students they had before and keeping up with me and having our cabins get together again and just meet each other again, just to catch up and regroup after camp ended that summer. Camp was a place of just a peace for me because it let me disconnect from any kind of vanity I had. There were no mirrors, there was no makeup, there was no electronics, and a lot of camps are good about trying to limit electronics and limit different insecurities, but Camp Highland is so good at just putting you out there and making you vulnerable, because I feel like when you're vulnerable, that's when you really have the opportunity to connect deepest in fellowship and connect with God at a really intimate point. So I got an email. So I really loved camp. I love all the different opportunities we had. I really loved learning what it truly meant to have tag time and really take that quiet time and really use it to spend that time with God and just stop in the middle of the busyness. And I absolutely love going, and I always had some younger girls in my cabin with me, and we ended up going like 3 summers together because we all went week 7, best week. But these girls kept saying, hey Sam, you need to be a counselor, because I was starting to get to the point where I knew I only had like 1 more summer left, and it was my last summer, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to be a camper anymore, and that hurt my heart. But they kept saying, hey, Sam, you need to be a counselor. And I was like, yeah, it'd be fun for a couple weeks. And then I'd get tired and sleepy, and I just would have no more energy. But God worked in a really cool way the past few months. At UGA, we have a lot of Camp Highland people. And so I kept seeing people with the Camp Highland Summer 16 shirts. And I was like, oh, I should talk to them because they know about camp, and I've been connected with camp. And they just kept telling me, like, you should go for it. And I was like, I don't know. I've got all these things. Like, I'm going to be busy during the summer. I want to be able to sleep in during the summer, like, sleep in my own bed, not in a dorm. And I saw one of my friends, Mariah Gillespie, who was a counselor last summer, and she was at Phi Slam the other day. And she grabbed me and she said, you need to be a counselor. And I was like, nah, I can't do this. And she was like, no, your strength that you think you have for the camp is not yours. Like, you give everything to God. It's just like fully giving yourself over to God, like spiritually, physically, mentally. Like, it's just a summer of just spending time with Him and in deep fellowship. And I knew that I like had a passion for camp, that I love camp, but up to that point, I hadn't been ready to really put myself out there and take that leap of faith and apply. And so God just kept kind of like pulling at me saying, you know, you should just go for it. You should apply. You love this place. And granted, this is an application video. I just felt like he was just pulling me, like saying that I should go for it. And so I decided that I was going to take this leap of faith and apply. And I love Camp Highland so much because I love being outdoor. I love outdoors. I love adventuring. I love rock climbing. I love having those girls in my cabin who, like, I don't love that they're nervous of heights, but I love being able to just cheer them on and say, you know, you got this. And I love the buddy hike. I don't know what it's called, like the buddy ropes course by the Mammoth. I love doing that, and just being able to look back and say, we just climbed that, we just did that. But the cool thing about Camp Highland is other camps, you know, you like go hiking, you climb like rocks, you go down slides, you like do blobs and all that, but it's just an event and then you keep moving on. But at Camp Highland, like every single thing you do, you take the time to reflect afterwards and relate it back to your relationship with God. And so Camp Highland is so extremely intentional with setting counselors up for success, with just putting them in there with their campers to really pour into them. And I've had several opportunities in high school with D groups of 8th grade and 9th grade girls, and through a summer conference at my church where I was able to lead small groups for 2 years, where I've just been able to talk to these younger girls and kind of be able to relate to things I'd struggled with before and really be vulnerable with them, but also they taught me so much at the same time. So I think camp is just a beautiful place to be vulnerable, put yourself out there, you know, like feel that adventure, go for it, just, but at the same time, put everything back in perspective of how it relates to our walk, how tag times are important. And a funny story about camp, actually, is my brother and I, our first summer we went, at the end of the week, we were really sad to leave, but they were like, okay, we're going to do Burley Award, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, and they were like, okay, so Landon and Samantha, come up, and I didn't know what Burley Award was until I got it. But one of the great things about camp is the environment they set you up in. There's no sarcasm, which was hard for me because I'm a sarcastic person. But when I didn't have sarcasm, I realized how encouraging I was, how encouraging my words were, and how much more I could use my words to help and uplift others than tear them down, which happens so often when we use sarcasm. But it also just really encourages campers to set those goals and meet them and really pursue God in everything. And whether it's a match of Hutu Tutu or if it's just taking like a meal and making a circle for a meal, like everything has a purpose, and camp is so purpose driven. I feel like today so many different like work environments and just society in general is saying, you know, like this is for like just check this off the list, this is for your glory, you know, keep going. But camp is so intentional about being for God, everything for God's glory. And I would just absolutely love the opportunity to be able to spend a summer with the campers and really be able to pour into them, but also just spend a summer in an incredible fellowship that I keep hearing about, being with other counselors who are might be at different colleges, different states, but just really get the opportunity to meet with them and just grow together. So I would absolutely be honored to be offered a position at camp, and so thank you for giving me this opportunity, and go Dogs!